When Michael Jordan saw bullies picking on twin girls at Lincoln Park, he had to help. The 8-year-olds loved basketball and spoke about their mum with such love. Something about them felt familiar, but Michael couldn't figure out what. These brave sisters had no idea they were talking to the greatest basketball player ever. And Michael had no idea their mother was Isabel Santos, his college love, who vanished 15 years ago. Will Michael's heart survive seeing the woman who got away? And can Isabel forgive the man who chose fame over love? Michael Jordan pulled his baseball cap lower over his eyes as he walked through Lincoln Park on a quiet Tuesday morning. The cool Chicago breeze felt good on his face. He wore simple gray jogging clothes and old sneakers, nothing fancy that would make people notice him. After years of cameras and crowds, all he wanted was some peace and fresh air. The park was almost empty. A few joggers ran past him on the path. An elderly man fed pigeons on a bench. Michael smiled. This was perfect. No autographs, no photos, no one asking about his basketball days. Just a normal morning walk. But then he heard something that made him stop. Crying. Angry voices. The sound of kids being mean to other kids. Michael's stomach tightened. He knew that sound too well. He remembered being picked on when he was young. Bigger kids calling him names. Taking his lunch money. Making him feel small and scared. He followed the voices toward the playground. Behind a big oak tree, he saw something that made his blood boil. 3 boys, much bigger and older, had cornered 2 little girls. The girls looked like twins, exactly the same height, with matching brown braids and scared brown eyes. They wore clean but faded clothes and held matching backpacks covered with hand-drawn pictures of basketball players. "Give us your lunch money, freaks," shouted the biggest bully. He had mean eyes and a nasty smile. "Yeah, nobody wants weird twins at our school," another boy added, grabbing one of the girls' backpacks and throwing it on the ground. The third bully laughed as notebooks and pencils scattered everywhere. "Look at these baby drawings. You think you're going to be basketball players? That's stupid." The twin girls held hands tightly. Tears streamed down their faces, but they tried to be brave. The girl on the left lifted her chin higher. The girl on the right squeezed her sister's hand. "Please just leave us alone," the brave one whispered. "We didn't do anything to you." "You exist," the biggest bully said, stepping closer. "That's enough." Michael couldn't watch anymore. His hands became fists. These bullies reminded him of every mean kid who had ever made him feel worthless. But these little girls were even smaller than he had been. They needed help. Without thinking about who might see him or take pictures, Michael walked over. "Hey boys," he said in his deep, calm voice. "I think it's time you found something better to do." The 3 bullies spun around. Even though Michael was dressed like a regular person, something about him made them nervous. He was tall and strong, with kind but serious eyes. He stood like someone who was used to winning. The biggest bully tried to act tough. "This isn't your business, old man." But Michael could see the kid's hands shaking a little. "Good." Michael ignored the bullies and kneeled down to the twins' level. Up close he could see they were about 8 years old. They had the same face, the same brave spirit, the same way of protecting each other. "Are you girls okay?" he asked softly. The girl who had spoken up before wiped her nose with her sleeve. She nodded but didn't stop holding her sister's hand. The quieter twin managed a small smile. Her eyes said thank you even though she didn't speak. Michael stood back up and looked at the bullies. They suddenly seemed much smaller. "Listen carefully," he told them. His voice wasn't loud, but it was strong. Real strength isn't about picking on people smaller than you. It's about protecting people who need help. These girls didn't do anything wrong. The bullies shuffled their feet. They looked embarrassed now instead of mean. A real man, Michael continued, stands up for others. He doesn't tear people down. He builds them up. You boys are better than this. The biggest bully's face turned red. Sorry, he mumbled. Don't apologize to me, Michael said. Apologize to them. The three boys looked at the ground. Sorry, they said to the twins. And if I hear about you bothering these girls again, Michael added, you'll answer to me. Understood? The bullies nodded quickly and walked away. They didn't run, but they definitely left fast. Michael turned back to the twins. They were still holding hands, but they weren't crying anymore. Let's get your things picked up, he said, with a gentle smile. The girls helped him gather their scattered belongings. Michael noticed their notebooks were full of good grades and teacher comments like, excellent work, and very kind student. Their backpacks were old but decorated with careful drawings of basketball players shooting hoops. Do you like basketball? Michael asked, as they put the last pencil away. It's our favorite sport in the whole world, said the brave twin, her eyes lighting up for the first time. Our mom taught us how to play, added the quiet one, finally speaking. Her voice was soft but clear. She says basketball teaches you to never give up. The first girl continued. When you miss a shot, you keep shooting. When you fall down, you get back up. She sounds like a very smart mom, Michael said. Something about these girls touched his heart. They reminded him of something important, but he couldn't quite remember what. Maybe it was their courage. Maybe it was the way they took care of each other. Or maybe it was how they talked about basketball like it was more than just a game. What are your names? Michael asked. I'm Aria, said the brave one. I'm Luna, said the quiet one. Those are beautiful names, Michael said. He paused. Should he tell them who he really was? No. Right now he was just a nice man who helped them. That felt better than being famous. I'm Mike, he said simply. Thank you for helping us, Mike, Aria said. Those boys are mean to us every day. Every day? Michael's jaw tightened. That's not okay. Mom says some people are mean because they're unhappy inside, Luna explained. She says we should feel sorry for them. Your mom is very wise, Michael said. These girls had been taught well. Someone was raising them right. He looked at his watch. Shouldn't you be getting to school? We were on our way, Aria said, but those boys always wait for us at the bus stop. Michael made a decision. How about I walk with you? I'd like to make sure you get there safely. Both girls smiled. Real, happy smiles that made Michael's heart warm. Would you really? Luna asked. I'd be honored, Michael said, meaning every word. As they walked toward the school, Aria and Luna chatted excitedly about their favorite basketball moves. They didn't know they were walking with the greatest basketball player who ever lived. To them, he was just Mike, a kind man who cared enough to help. And for the first time in years, that felt like enough. 15 years earlier, the small cafe near the University of North Carolina buzzed with students studying for finals. Coffee cups and textbooks covered every table. The smell of fresh muffins filled the air. Isabel Santos balanced a heavy tray of hot coffee as she weaved between the crowded tables. At 22, she was pretty but tired. Dark circles under her brown eyes showed how hard she worked. She had 2 part-time jobs and a full class schedule. Every dollar mattered when you were putting yourself through college. Order up, called the manager from behind the counter. 3 coffees for table 6. Isabel hurried to pick up the tray. Table 6 was where the basketball players always sat. She recognized them from campus, but never paid much attention to sports. She was too busy studying to become a teacher and working to pay for school. At table 6, a young Michael Jordan sat with his teammates. He was already famous on campus, but he felt lonely sometimes. Basketball took up most of his time. Practices, games, studying game film, working out, There wasn't much room for normal college life. His teammates were talking loudly about their upcoming game against Duke. But Michael's mind wandered. He watched other students laughing with friends, going to parties, dating. Sometimes he wondered what it would be like to just be a regular college kid. "Mike, you listening?" asked his teammate James. "Coach wants us there early tomorrow." "Yeah, I heard," Michael replied, but he wasn't really paying attention. Isabel approached their table carefully. The tray was heavy and the coffee was very hot. She had to be extra careful not to spill anything. Customers got angry when their orders were wrong, and she couldn't afford to lose this job. But just as she reached table 6, another student backed his chair right into her path. "Oh no," Isabel gasped as she tried to stop. The tray tipped, hot coffee splashed everywhere. All over the table, all over the floor, and all over the tall basketball player sitting closest to her. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry," Isabel cried, grabbing napkins from every table around them. Her face turned bright red. This was exactly the kind of mistake that could get her fired. Michael jumped up, coffee dripping from his shirt and jeans. But instead of being angry, he started laughing. "It's okay," he said, taking napkins from her shaking hands. "Really, it's fine. I've taken worse hits on the basketball court." Isabel looked up at him, surprised. Most people would be furious about getting covered in hot coffee. But this guy was actually smiling. He had kind eyes and a gentle laugh. "But your clothes are ruined," she said, still wiping frantically. "And it's probably expensive stuff." "They're just clothes," Michael said, "and actually this gives me a good excuse to skip my next class." His teammates laughed. "Mike's always looking for ways to get out of Professor Johnson's history lectures." "I feel terrible," Isabel said. "Please let me pay for dry cleaning or buy you a new shirt or something. How about you just sit down and talk to me instead?" Michael suggested. "I was getting bored with these guys anyway." Isabel glanced at her manager, who was watching from behind the counter. She still had tables to serve and an hour left on her shift. "I can't," she said sadly. "I have to work." "What time do you get off?" Michael asked. 9 o'clock. "Then how about coffee after work? I promised to bring a change of clothes this time." Isabel hesitated. She had studying to do, and she didn't usually go out with customers. But something about this guy seemed different. He wasn't trying to impress her or show off. He just seemed nice. "Okay," she said, "but I'm buying the coffee. It's the least I can do after dumping a tray on you." That evening they met at a small diner off campus. Michael had changed into a simple t-shirt and jeans. Without his basketball clothes, he looked like any other college student. They talked for hours. Isabel told him about her dream of becoming a teacher who helped kids believe in themselves. She wanted to work in schools where children didn't have much money or support at home. "I grew up poor," she explained. "I know what it's like when adults give up on you before you even try. I want to be the teacher who sees potential in every kid." Michael was amazed. He'd never met anyone who cared so much about helping others. "That's beautiful," he said. "Most people just want to make money or become famous." "What about you?" Isabel asked. "What do you want besides basketball?" Michael thought for a moment. No one had ever asked him that before. "I want to matter," he said finally. "Not just as a player, but as a person. My coach always says, champions are made when nobody's watching. I want to be someone worth knowing even when I'm not on the court." Isabel smiled. "I think you already are." Something special happened that night. For the first time in months, Michael felt like himself instead of just the basketball star, and Isabel saw something in his eyes that had nothing to do with fame or sport. Over the next few months, they dated in secret. Michael loved that Isabel saw him as just Mike, not the campus celebrity. She came to a few of his games, but always sat in the back, cheering quietly. She was proud of his talent but more interested in his dreams and fears. Their relationship was sweet but complicated. Michael's schedule was crazy with practices, games, and media interviews. Isabel struggled to keep up with her studies while working multiple jobs to pay rent and buy textbooks. But they made time for each other whenever they could. Study dates at the library, late-night walks around campus, quiet dinners at cheap restaurants where no one would recognize Michael. One warm spring evening, they sat by the campus lake under a sky full of stars. Final exams were coming up, and then Michael would enter the NBA draft. Everything was about to change. "Promise me something," Isabel said, leaning against his shoulder. "Anything. No matter what happens with basketball or your career or fame, remember that you're a good person first. That's what matters most. Not the trophies or the money or what people say about you in the newspapers." Michael took her hand. "I promise. You'll always keep me grounded, won't you?" "Always," Isabel whispered. But even as she said it, they both knew their time together was running out. Michael's basketball career was about to explode. Scouts were calling every day. His future was bright and exciting, and very, very public. Meanwhile, Isabel received devastating news that would change everything. Her mother had gotten very sick back home in Chicago. The doctors said it was serious. Her family needed her to come home and help take care of things. "I have to leave school," she told Michael through tears one night. "My family can't afford nurses or special care. I'm the only one who can help." "I'll come with you," Michael said immediately. "Basketball can wait." "No," Isabel shook her head firmly. "You have a chance to make all your dreams come true. I won't let you give that up for me. This is your time, Mike. Take it." They both knew she was right, but it broke their hearts anyway. The goodbye at the bus station was the hardest thing either of them had ever done. They stood there crying, holding each other, wishing things could be different. "I'll find you again someday," Michael promised as the bus arrived. "When everything settles down, when I figure out how to balance it all, I'll come to Chicago and find you. Just remember what I said about being a good person first." Isabel whispered as she picked up her suitcase. "That's all I really want for you." Michael watched the bus pull away, carrying the most important person in his life toward a future he couldn't share. He stood there long after the taillights disappeared, wondering if he was making the biggest mistake of his life. He kept that promise about being a good person first, but he never stopped looking for the girl who taught him what really mattered. And 15 years later, in a Chicago park, two little girls with basketball drawings on their backpacks would bring them back together in the most unexpected way. Back to present day, Michael walked slowly with Aria and Luna toward Lincoln Elementary. The morning sun felt warm on his face as the girls chattered happily beside him. Their fear from the bullying incident had melted away, replaced by excited energy. "Watch this move, Mike," Aria said, pretending to dribble an invisible basketball. She spun around and shot at an imaginary hoop. Swoosh! "My mom taught me that one." "She must be a really good teacher," Michael replied, smiling at the girl's enthusiasm. "She's the best mom in the whole world," Luna said proudly. "She works super hard to take care of us. Sometimes she's tired, but she always has time to practice basketball with us after dinner. She says that champions practice even when they don't feel like it," Aria added. "That's how you get better at anything, not just sport." Michael's heart stirred. Those words sounded familiar, like an echo from long ago, but the memory stayed fuzzy, just out of reach. "Your mom sounds very wise," he said. "She knows everything about basketball," Luna continued. "She taught us the fadeaway shot, the crossover dribble, and how to make free throws when you're nervous." "The fadeaway shot is super hard," Aria explained. "But Mom says if you practice it enough, you can make it even when someone big is trying to stop you." Michael stopped walking for a moment. "The fadeaway shot. That had been his signature move. Very few people taught that to young kids because it was so difficult. Who was this mother who understood basketball so deeply? "Are you okay, Mike?" Luna asked, noticing he had gotten quiet. "I'm fine," Michael said, shaking off the strange feeling. "Just thinking about what good teachers you have. Your mom for basketball, and I bet your school teachers are great too." "They are," Aria said. "Mrs. Peterson says we're her smartest students, and Mr. Garcia, the gym teacher, says we have natural talent." As they approached the red brick school building, Michael saw other kids arriving with their parents. Some rode bikes, others walked in groups, and a few got dropped off by cars. It looked like a normal, happy elementary school. "There's our classroom window." Luna pointed to the second floor. "We're in the same class because we're twins." "Do you like being in the same class?" Michael asked. "We love it," Aria said. "We help each other with everything. When Luna is scared to raise her hand, I encourage her. When I get frustrated with math, she helps me calm down." Michael watched the two girls and felt something warm spread through his chest. They had such a strong bond, such love for each other. Someone had raised them to be kind, brave, and supportive. Their mother was doing an amazing job. "Well, here we are," Michael said as they reached the school entrance. "You girls have a great day, okay? And remember, if those bullies bother you again, you tell a teacher right away." "We will," both girls promised. "Mike?" Aria said, looking a little shy. "Will we see you again?" Michael's heart melted. "I hope so. I really enjoyed meeting you both." "Maybe you could come to one of our basketball games," Luna suggested. "We play in the community league on Saturdays." "I'd like that very much," Michael said, meaning every word. The girls waved goodbye and ran inside, their backpacks bouncing as they disappeared through the doors. Michael stood there for a moment watching the place where they'd vanished, feeling strangely empty now that they were gone. As he walked back through the park, Michael's mind drifted to memories he hadn't thought about in years. All those championships, all those victories, all that success. But something had always been missing. 15 years ago, Michael Jordan was drafted 3rd overall by the Chicago Bulls. Sports reporters called him the most promising rookie in decades. He had everything a young athlete could want: talent, opportunity, and a bright future. But in quiet moments, usually late at night in hotel rooms during road trips, Michael thought about a girl with dark hair and gentle eyes who spilled coffee on him in a college cafe. He wondered if she ever watched his games on TV. He wondered if she was proud of him. He tried to find her many times over the years. He hired private investigators who searched through college records and phone books. He checked social media when it became popular. He even asked old college friends if they remembered Isabel Santos. But it was like she had disappeared completely. No trace, no forwarding address, no digital footprint. It was as if she had never existed at all. Michael achieved everything he had dreamed of in basketball. 6 NBA championships, 5 MVP awards, 14 All-Star games. Sports magazines called him the greatest player of all time. But success felt incomplete without someone special to share it with. He dated other people over the years, but no relationship felt real. Everyone wanted to be with Michael Jordan, the celebrity, not just Mike the person. When he finally retired from basketball, Michael had more money than he could ever spend and more fame than anyone could handle. But he also had a hole in his heart that trophies couldn't fill. Now, walking through Lincoln Park on this ordinary Tuesday morning, Michael felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Purpose. Connection. Those 2 little girls had reminded him why he fell in love with basketball in the first place. Not for the glory, but for the joy of the game itself. That afternoon, Michael visited a community center on Chicago's South Side where he sometimes volunteered. He taught basketball to kids who couldn't afford expensive camps or private coaches. It was one of the few things that still made him truly happy. "Mr. Jordan," called a 10-year-old named Marcus as Michael walked into the gym. "Can you show us that move again? The one where you spin and shoot backwards." "You mean the fadeaway?" Michael asked, picking up a basketball. "Yeah, that one's so cool." Michael demonstrated the shot slowly, explaining each step. "It's all about balance and timing. And most importantly, you have to believe in yourself. Even when someone bigger is trying to block you, you can still succeed if you stay focused." The kids watched carefully and tried to copy his movements. Most of them missed their shots, but they kept trying with determination that reminded Michael of someone. Two someones. Actually, twin girls with matching braids and basketball dreams. "Mr. Jordan," asked a shy girl named Amy, "what's the most important thing about basketball?" Michael paused, thinking about his answer. Without knowing why, words from long ago filled his mind. "It's not about being the best player," he said. "It's about lifting up the people around you. Basketball teaches you that we're stronger when we help each other. And champions are made when nobody's watching, when you practice hard and do the right thing even if no one sees you." The words felt familiar on his tongue, like something someone special had once told him. After practice, Michael sat alone in his car outside the community center. He couldn't stop thinking about Arya and Luna. There was something about their spirit, their wisdom, their love for basketball that felt like a sign from the universe. Tomorrow, he decided, he would return to Lincoln Park. Maybe he'd see them again after school. Maybe he could learn more about these remarkable girls and their basketball-loving mother. For the first time in years, Michael Jordan felt like he was exactly where he was supposed to be. Isabel Santos-Chen stood in front of her third-grade classroom, holding up colorful number cards for her 25 energetic students. At 37, she was still beautiful, but tired lines around her brown eyes showed the weight of years spent working hard and sleeping little. "Who can tell me what 7 + 6 equals?" she asked, with a warm smile. Hands shot up around the room. 13. The children called out. "Excellent. You're all getting so good at math," Isabel said proudly. She loved teaching. Even on her most exhausting days, seeing her students learn and grow made everything worthwhile. The school bell rang, ending another day at Lincoln Elementary. As her students packed their backpacks and lined up for buses, Isabel gathered her own things. She had exactly 30 minutes to get to her second job downtown. "Have a wonderful evening, everyone," she called as the last student left. "Don't forget to practice your spelling words." Isabel hurried to her old blue car in the school parking lot. The engine made strange noises when she started it, but it still ran. She couldn't afford car payments on top of everything else, so she prayed every day that her faithful old Honda would keep going just a little longer. 20 minutes later, she arrived at the office building where she cleaned every weekday evening. Her supervisor, Mrs. Kim, handed her the cleaning supplies and a list of offices that needed extra attention. "Third floor is pretty messy today," Mrs. Kim explained. "The law firm had a big meeting with pizza. Conference room needs deep cleaning." "No problem," Isabel said, tying her hair back and putting on rubber gloves. "I'll take care of it." For the next 4 hours, Isabel mopped floors, emptied trash cans, wiped down desks and scrubbed bathrooms. Her feet ached in her worn sneakers, but she kept working. Every dollar from this job went toward rent, groceries, and the girls' school supplies. People sometimes looked at her strangely when they found out she worked 2 jobs. A teacher who cleaned offices at night. But Isabel felt no shame. She was doing what she had to do to take care of her daughters. That was what real mothers did. The twins didn't know much about their biological father. Isabel had met David Chen during the hardest years of her life, right after her mother died. He seemed kind and stable, promising to help her start fresh. But when Aria and Luna were born and reality hit, sleepless nights, crying babies, medical bills, David couldn't handle it. He left when the girls were just 2 years old. Isabel kept his last name for the twins because she wanted them to have the same name as their mother. But she raised them completely alone, working multiple jobs and going to night school to finish her teaching degree. The girls had never asked much about their father. They seemed content with their small but loving family. Isabel had always been both mother and father to them, teaching them everything from bike riding to basketball. Basketball, that had been her gift to them, the love of a game that taught important life lessons. She remembered learning those lessons herself, long ago, from someone very special. At 11 p.m., Isabel finally drove home to their small apartment. The building was old but clean, and their neighborhood was safe enough for the girls to walk to school. That was all that mattered. She climbed the narrow stairs to apartment 2B, trying not to wake the neighbors. Inside, Mrs. Rodriguez from next door was reading on the couch while Aria and Luna slept in their shared bedroom. "How were they tonight?" Isabel whispered. "Perfect angels, as always," Mrs. Rodriguez replied softly. "They did homework, ate dinner, and were asleep by 9. Those girls are so well behaved. Thank you so much for watching them," Isabel said, handing Mrs. Rodriguez $20. "I don't know what I'd do without you. Those girls are lucky to have such a hard-working mama," the older woman said, patting Isabel's shoulder. "You're doing a good job, even when it doesn't feel like it." After Mrs. Rodriguez left, Isabel checked on the twins. They slept in matching twin beds, still holding hands across the gap between them. Even in sleep, they took care of each other. The apartment was tiny but filled with love. The walls were covered with the girls' artwork, school achievement certificates, and photos of their small family. A handmade banner hung over the kitchen table that said Santos Chen Family Champions in colorful crayon letters. In the corner of the living room sat their most prized possession, a basketball hoop that Isabel had bought at a garage sale and installed herself. The girls practiced their shots there every evening while Isabel made dinner. Isabel sat at the small kitchen table with a stack of bills and her calculator. Rent was due next week. The electric bill was higher than usual because summer was coming and they'd need the air conditioner, and Aria needed new sneakers because her toes were starting to poke through the front of her current pair. She did the math 3 times, hoping the numbers would change. They didn't. She would have to ask her boss for an advance on her teaching salary again. It was embarrassing, but the girls came first. From her bedroom closet, Isabel pulled out an old shoebox hidden behind her winter coats. Inside were the only things she'd kept from her college days. A few faded photographs, some ticket stubs from basketball games, and a pressed flower from a spring evening by a campus lake. She picked up one of the photos. A young man with kind eyes and a gentle smile looked back at her. Even after all these years, seeing his face made her heart skip a beat. "I hope you became everything you dreamed of, Mike," she whispered to the picture. "I hope you're happy." She touched the pressed flower gently. Some nights, when the bills piled up and exhaustion overwhelmed her, she wondered what would have happened if she had stayed in North Carolina. Would they have gotten married? Would she have had a different life? But looking toward the bedroom where her daughters slept peacefully, Isabel knew she had made the right choice. Taking care of her dying mother had been the right thing to do, and even though David had left them, she had Aria and Luna, the 2 best things that had ever happened to her. The girls didn't know about Michael Jordan. They didn't know their mother had once been in love with someone who became the most famous basketball player in the world. That was a secret from another lifetime, when she was young and full of dreams she couldn't afford to keep. But she had given those dreams to her daughters in a different way. Through basketball lessons in their tiny living room, through bedtime stories about never giving up, through the daily example of working hard and staying strong no matter what life threw at you. Champions are made when nobody's watching, she had told them just last week during practice. Those words came from someone special, someone who had taught her what really mattered in life. Tomorrow would bring another day of teaching, cleaning, and trying to make ends meet. But tonight, Isabel felt grateful. She had two healthy, happy daughters who loved her completely. She had work that paid the bills and gave her purpose, and she had the quiet satisfaction of knowing she was raising two incredible girls to be strong, kind, and brave. As she finally went to bed after midnight, Isabel had no idea that tomorrow would bring the most shocking surprise of her life. She had no idea that the man in those old photographs was closer than she could ever imagine. And she had no idea that her daughters had already met their hero. The next morning, Michael Jordan woke up thinking about basketball drawings and twin girls with brave hearts. He had barely slept, his mind replaying every moment from yesterday. Something about Aria and Luna felt important, like they were meant to cross his path. After a quick breakfast, Michael grabbed a basketball and some snacks from his kitchen. He wanted to see the girls again, to make sure the bullies had left them alone. More than that, he wanted to hear more about their amazing mother who taught them so much about life and basketball. Lincoln Park looked different in the afternoon sunlight. The same playground where yesterday's bullying had happened, now filled with the sounds of children playing happily. Michael sat on a bench near the basketball court, bouncing the ball and watching the park entrance. At 3:30 he spotted them. Aria and Luna walked slowly through the park gates, their matching backpacks dragging behind them. But something was wrong. Their heads were down, and they weren't talking to each other like they usually did. Michael stood up and walked toward them. "Hey there," he called out with a warm smile. "How was school today?" Both girls looked up, and their faces immediately brightened. "Mike," they called out together, running over to him. "You came back," Aria said happily, giving him a hug. "I told you I wanted to see you again," Michael replied, "but you both look a little sad. Did something happen?" Luna nodded, her eyes filling with tears. "Those boys were waiting for us again after school. They said mean things about our clothes and our lunch. They called us poor kids and said we don't belong at Lincoln Elementary," Aria added, trying to sound brave but failing. Michael's jaw tightened. He had hoped his warning yesterday would be enough to stop the bullying. Clearly these boys needed a stronger message. "Did you tell a teacher?" he asked. "We tried," Luna said, "but they said they didn't see anything happen, so they couldn't help us." "The boys are smart," Aria explained. "They only say mean things when adults aren't watching." Michael knelt down to their level. "I'm sorry that happened to you, but I want you to remember something important. What other people say about you doesn't change who you really are. You're smart, kind, talented girls. That's what matters." "Our mom says the same thing," Luna said, wiping her eyes. "She says people who are mean to others are usually unhappy inside." "Your mom is very wise," Michael agreed. "Speaking of your mom, what's she like?" "Besides being a great basketball teacher, she's the best mom ever," Aria said immediately. "She works really hard to take care of us." "She has 2 jobs," Luna added. "She teaches at our school during the day, and then she cleans offices at night." Michael's heart squeezed. This woman was working herself to exhaustion to provide for her daughters. No wonder the girls were so mature and responsible. "She sounds like a superhero," he said. "She is," both girls agreed. "Hey," Michael said, picking up his basketball. "Want to practice some shots? I could use some partners who know what they're doing." The twins' moods lifted immediately. They spent the next hour playing basketball with Michael, and he was amazed by their natural ability. They had excellent footwork, good shooting form, and most importantly, they played with joy. Show me that fadeaway shot your mom taught you, Michael requested. Arya demonstrated the move, stepping back and shooting over an imaginary defender. Her form wasn't perfect, but the fundamentals were solid. That's really good, Michael said honestly. Your mom must understand basketball very well to teach you such an advanced move. She says it was her favorite shot when she was young, Luna explained. She used to play a lot before we were born. Did she play in college? Michael asked, his curiosity growing. I think so, Arya said, but she doesn't talk about the old days much. She says the past doesn't matter as much as right now. Michael taught them some new moves, including a simple crossover dribble and a basic post-up position. The girls learned quickly, encouraging each other and celebrating small improvements. You girls have special talent, Michael told them as they practiced. With the right coaching, you could play at high levels someday. Really? Luna asked, her eyes shining. Really? But talent isn't enough. You need dedication, hard work, and the right attitude. From what I can see, you already have all three. As the sun started to set, the twins knew they had to head home for dinner. Mike, Arya said, would you like to meet our mom sometime? I think you'd really like her. Michael's heart started beating faster. I'd love to meet her. When do you think that might happen? She picks us up from school tomorrow at 3:15, Luna said. You could come say hi. Would that be okay with her? Michael asked. I don't want to surprise her if she's not expecting visitors. She loves meeting people who are nice to us, Arya assured him. Besides, we want to show her some of the moves you taught us. Then I'll be there, Michael promised. 3:15 at Lincoln Elementary. The girls hugged him goodbye and skipped toward home, chattering excitedly about their new basketball moves. Michael watched them go, feeling nervous and excited in a way he hadn't experienced in years. Tomorrow, he would meet the mysterious mother, who had raised such incredible daughters. The woman who taught them basketball with the same wisdom and philosophy he had learned long ago from someone very special. The woman who somehow felt familiar even though he had never met her. As Michael walked back to his car, he couldn't shake the feeling that tomorrow would change his life forever. He didn't know why, but every instinct told him that meeting Arya and Luna's mother would be more than just a casual introduction. That night, Michael barely slept again. He kept thinking about fadeaway shots and basketball wisdom, and a mother who worked 2 jobs to give her daughters everything they needed. He thought about the way the girls talked about her with such love and respect, and somewhere deep in his mind, a memory stirred. A memory of a young woman with dark hair and gentle eyes who believed that being a good person mattered more than being famous. A woman who had disappeared from his life 15 years ago and left a hole in his heart that nothing had ever filled. But that was impossible, wasn't it? The chances of finding Isabel Santos after all these years, in this way through her children, were impossibly small. Tomorrow would bring answers. Tomorrow, Michael Jordan would discover whether destiny was real or if he was just hoping for miracles that couldn't come true. But either way, he would be at Lincoln Elementary at 3:15, ready to meet the most important person in Arya and Luna's world. The next afternoon, Michael stood nervously near Lincoln Elementary School. He had changed clothes 3 times that morning, finally settling on a simple blue shirt and jeans. His baseball cap was pulled low, and he wore sunglasses to avoid being recognized by other parents and children. His heart pounded as he watched families coming out of the red brick building. Would he recognize Isabel after 15 years? Would she recognize him? What if this wasn't the same Isabel Santos from college? What if he was about to make a fool of himself? Children streamed out of the school doors, laughing and calling to their friends. Some climbed onto yellow buses while others walked toward waiting cars. Michael searched every face, looking for 2 familiar sets of brown eyes. Then, he saw them. Aria and Luna burst through the main entrance, their backpacks bouncing as they looked around excitedly. Behind them, moving more slowly, came a woman with dark hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She wore a teacher's practical clothes, khaki pants and a blue sweater, and carried a large bag full of papers to grade. Even from across the schoolyard, Michael knew it was her. His breath caught in his throat. Time seemed to slow down as Isabel Santos Chen walked closer. She was older, of course, with tiny lines around her eyes that hadn't been there in college. But her gentle grace was exactly the same. Her smile, as she listened to her daughter's chatter, was the smile that had captured his heart 15 years ago. "Mum," Aria called out, pointing toward Michael. "There's our friend from the park." Isabel looked up, following her daughter's gaze. Her eyes met Michael's across the busy schoolyard. The world went completely silent. Isabel stopped walking so suddenly that other parents had to step around her. Her face went pale as moonlight. Her hand flew to her throat, touching the spot where a small silver necklace used to hang. A necklace he had given her for her birthday in college. Michael slowly removed his sunglasses, his hands shaking slightly. Even with 15 years between them, even with grey threads in his hair and worry lines on his face, she recognized him instantly. "Mike," she whispered, so quietly that only he could hear her across the distance. The sound of his old nickname, spoken in her familiar voice, hit him like lightning. For a moment they were 22 years old again, sitting by a campus lake under the stars, promising to find each other someday. Michael took a step toward her, then another. Neither of them seemed able to move faster than a dream. "Hello, Izzy," he said softly when he was close enough for her to hear. Hearing her college nickname, the name only he had ever called her, made Isabel's knees go weak. She stared at him in complete shock, trying to make sense of what was happening. The twins looked back and forth between their mother and their new friend, confused by the strange tension in the air. "Do you two know each other?" Luna asked innocently. Neither adult could answer. They were too stunned to speak, too overwhelmed by 15 years of separation suddenly collapsing into this moment. Finally, Michael found his voice. "Girls, could you give your mum and me a moment to talk? Maybe you could show me that playground over there? But we want to introduce you," Aria protested, not understanding why the adults looked so serious. "In a little bit," Isabel managed to say, never taking her eyes off Michael. "Go play on the swings for a few minutes. Stay where I can see you." The twins shrugged and ran toward the playground, leaving their mother and their new friend to figure out whatever strange adult problem was happening. Isabel and Michael stood facing each other in the middle of the busy schoolyard, an island of stillness in the chaos of dismissal time. "I can't believe it's really you," Isabel whispered, her voice breaking. "I looked for you," Michael said desperately, as if 15 years of searching could be explained in 4 words. "For years and years I looked everywhere. I hired people to find you." "Where did you go?" Tears filled Isabel's eyes. "I had to disappear. After my mother died, there were complications with her medical bills. I had to declare bankruptcy and start over with a new life." "You changed your name?" "When I married David Chen. But that didn't last long. He left when the girls were babies." Her voice was steady, but Michael could hear the old pain underneath. Michael's heart broke for everything she had endured alone. "You raised them by yourself?" Isabel nodded, glancing toward the swings where Aria and Luna were playing. "It's been hard, but they're my whole world. They're the best thing that ever happened to me." "They're incredible," Michael said, following her gaze. "Smart, brave, kind. I can see so much of you in them. The way they love basketball, the way they take care of each other, the way they see the good in people. I taught them everything you taught me," Isabel admitted quietly. "About never giving up, about being good people first, about champions being made when nobody's watching. I never forgot those lessons." Michael stepped closer, close enough to see the gold flecks in her brown eyes that he had memorized in college. Izzy, I need you to know something. Not a single day has passed that I haven't thought about you. You were the most important person in my life. But you became everything you dreamed of, Isabel said, fresh tears spilling down her cheeks. You became the greatest basketball player in history. You conquered the world. You didn't need me. Success meant nothing without you, Michael said firmly, his voice rough with emotion. All those championships, all that fame, all that money, I would trade every bit of it for one more day with you back in college. I would trade it all to have you in my life again. Isabel was crying openly now. Mike, I'm not the same person you remember. I'm just a tired single mom, working 2 jobs to pay rent. I drive a car that barely runs, I shop at thrift stores, and I worry about money every single day. I don't have anything to offer someone like you. Someone like me. Michael shook his head, stepping even closer. Izzy, you made me who I am. You taught me that being a good person matters more than being famous. You're still teaching that to your daughters every day. You're exactly the person I fell in love with. You're just stronger now. Before Isabel could respond, 2 small voices interrupted their reunion. Mom, why are you crying? Luna asked, running up with concern written all over her face. Are you sad? Aria added, taking her mother's hand protectively. Isabel quickly wiped her tears and knelt down to her daughter's level. Sometimes grown-ups cry when they're happy, sweetheart. The twins looked suspiciously at Michael. Did you make our mom cry? Aria asked him direct. I hope they're good tears, Michael said gently, his heart aching with love for these fierce little protectors. Isabel took a deep breath, knowing this moment would change everything for all of them. Girls, I need to tell you something important. This man's name is Michael Jordan. Like the basketball player? Aria asked, her eyes growing wide. No, honey, Isabel said softly. He is the basketball player. The one I told you about. The greatest of all time. Both twins stared at Michael with new amazement, their mouths hanging open. You're really Michael Jordan? Luna whispered in awe. Michael knelt down to their level, his eyes gentle. I am. But more importantly, your mum and I knew each other a long time ago, before you were born. We were very close friends. How close? Aria asked, with 8-year-old directness. Michael looked at Isabel, asking permission with his eyes. She nodded slightly. We were boyfriend and girlfriend, Isabel said quietly. We loved each other very much, but we had to say goodbye when we were young because life took us in different directions. But you found each other again, Luna exclaimed, clapping her hands together. That's like in the movies. It is, Michael agreed, standing up and looking at Isabel with wonder. Sometimes the universe gives people second chances when they need them most. The twins exchanged excited glances. At 8 years old, they understood love stories better than most adults. So are you going to get married now? Aria asked practically. Aria, Isabel gasped, her face turning red. But Michael didn't laugh or look embarrassed. He kept his eyes on Isabel, his expression completely serious. If your mom would have me, he said quietly, I would be honored to be part of your family. The words hung in the air between them, 15 years of separation and longing condensed into one simple, perfect question. Isabel stared at Michael in complete shock. Her heart pounded so loudly she was sure everyone in the schoolyard could hear it. The twins watched with wide eyes, sensing that something very important was happening between the adults. Mike? Isabel whispered, you can't just say things like that. We just found each other again 5 minutes ago. I've loved you for 15 years, Izzy. Michael replied softly. That's not going to change whether we get married today or in 5 years from now. Before Isabel could respond, Luna tugged on her mother's sweater. Mom, are you okay? You look like you might faint. Isabel realized they were standing in the middle of a busy school pickup area with other parents and children walking around them. Some people were starting to stare, wondering why the group was having such an intense conversation. Maybe we should go somewhere more private to talk, she suggested. Can we go to the park? Aria asked excitedly. We want to show Michael how good we've gotten at basketball. That sounds perfect, Michael agreed, grateful for the twins' innocent suggestion. They walked to Lincoln Park together, the same place where this whole story began just 3 days ago. The twins skipped ahead, whispering excitedly to each other about their amazing discovery. Their mom's friend was Michael Jordan. This was the coolest thing that had ever happened to them, but Isabel walked slowly, her mind spinning with confusion and disbelief. Part of her wanted to pinch herself to make sure this wasn't all a crazy dream. At the park, the twins immediately ran to the basketball court. Watch this, Michael, Aria called out, demonstrating the fadeaway shot he had taught her yesterday. And look at this move, Luna added, showing off her improved crossover dribble. Michael applauded their skills, but his attention kept drifting to Isabel. She sat on a park bench, looking overwhelmed by everything that was happening. Girls, Michael said gently, why don't you practice those shots for a few minutes while your mum and I finish talking? The twins were happy to show off their basketball skills, so they began an energetic game of one-on while the adults watched from the bench. They're amazing kids, Michael said, sitting down next to Isabel but leaving some space between them. They're my whole life, Isabel replied. Everything I do is for them. I can see that. They're lucky to have such a devoted mother. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching Aria and Luna play. The girls were laughing and encouraging each other, just like always. I still can't believe you're here, Isabel said finally. I used to imagine what it would be like if we ever met again. But I never thought it would actually happen. What did you imagine? Michael asked. Isabel smiled sadly. I thought maybe I'd see you on TV someday and you wouldn't even remember my name. I figured you had moved on completely, married some beautiful celebrity, and forgotten all about the college girl who spilled coffee on you. I never forgot, Michael said firmly. And I never married anyone else? How could I, when my heart belonged to someone I couldn't find? Isabel looked at him with surprise. You never got married? But you're Michael Jordan. You could have had anyone. I didn't want anyone. I wanted you. The simple honesty in his voice made Isabel's eyes fill with tears again. Mike, you have to understand, she said. My life isn't glamorous. I work 2 jobs just to afford our tiny apartment. The girls wear hand-me-down clothes and we eat a lot of peanut butter sandwiches. I can't compete with the kind of life you're used to now. You think I care about any of that? Michael asked, turning to face her completely. Izzy, I've had more money than I could ever spend for years. I've lived in mansions and owned expensive cars and eaten at fancy restaurants. None of it made me happy. You know what makes me happy? Watching those 2 little girls play basketball with pure joy. Seeing how proud they are of their mom. Being with the person who taught me that character matters more than championships. But people will say I'm only with you for your money, Isabel protested. Let them say whatever they want. I know your heart, and so do you. Anyone who spends 5 minutes with you and the girls will see that you're the real deal. Isabel watched her daughters playing on the court. They were so innocent, so happy. How would all this affect their simple, peaceful life? What about Aria and Luna? She asked. They've never had a father figure. Their biological dad left when they were babies. What if they get attached to you and then what? Michael asked gently. And then you realize that being a stepfather to twin 8-year-olds is harder than you thought. What if the reality of family life isn't as romantic as you're imagining right now? Michael was quiet for a long moment, watching the girls play. Luna had just made a difficult shot, and Arya was cheering for her sister like she'd won the Olympics. "Izzy," he said finally, "I've spent my whole adult life chasing perfection on a basketball court. I know the difference between a fantasy and the real thing. Those girls aren't a burden I'm willing to take on for you. They're a gift I'm hoping you might share with me." Before Isabel could respond, the twins came running over, breathless and excited. "Did you see my three-pointer?" Luna asked proudly. "And did you see how I helped her line up the shot?" Arya added. "I saw everything," Michael said, smiling at both of them. "You're both getting so much better. Your teamwork is especially impressive. Mom always says we're stronger together than apart." Luna explained. "That's true for families too," Arya said with 8-year-old wisdom. "Right, Mom?" Isabel looked at her daughters, then at Michael, then back at her daughters. These two little girls had somehow brought the love of her life back into her world. Was it really possible that they could all be a family together? "Girls," she said carefully, "how would you feel if Michael became a bigger part of our lives? Not just as a friend, but as someone who helps take care of us." The twins exchanged one of their twin looks, the kind where they seemed to communicate without words. "Like a dad?" Arya asked hopefully. "Would he come to our basketball games?" Luna wanted to know. "Would he help us with homework?" Arya continued. "Would he teach us more basketball moves?" Luna added. "And would he make you smile more, Mom?" Arya asked, getting to the heart of what mattered most. "Because you've been sad for a long time, even when you try to hide it." Isabel's breath caught. She had thought she was protecting her daughters from her loneliness, but children see more than adults realize. "Yes to all of those things," Michael said, looking directly at the twins. "If your mum says yes, I promise to be the best dad I can be. I promise to come to every game, help with every homework assignment, and teach you every basketball move I know. And most importantly, I promise to take care of your mum and make sure she's happy." "Then we vote yes," both girls announced together. Everyone laughed. And for the first time since this incredible day began, Isabel felt some of her fear melting away. "But I have conditions," she said, trying to sound serious while fighting back a smile. "Name them," Michael said immediately. "We take this slowly. The girls and I have been through a lot, and we need time to adjust to having someone new in our lives." "Absolutely. And we keep living simply. I don't want the girls to think love means expensive gifts and fancy restaurants. They need to understand that real happiness comes from family, not money." "I completely agree. And if this doesn't work out," Isabel's voice got serious again, "if you decide this life is too ordinary for you, you have to promise to let us down gently. These girls can't have another father figure abandon them." Michael stood up from the bench and knelt down in front of all three of them, Isabel, Arya, and Luna. "I promise you," he said solemnly, "that I will never abandon this family. You three are the best thing that's ever happened to me. I would rather give up everything I have than lose you again." The twins cheered and tackled him with hugs. Isabel wiped away happy tears. "So is that a yes?" Michael asked, looking up at her hopefully. "That's a yes," Isabel whispered. As the sun set over Lincoln Park, a new family was born, not through biology or law, but through love, second chances, and the simple magic of two little girls who believed in happy endings. The next morning, Isabel woke up to her phone buzzing like an angry bee. Text messages, missed calls and news alerts flooded her screen faster than she could read them. Her heart sank as she saw the first headline, "Michael Jordan's secret family revealed." Below it was a photo of yesterday's reunion outside Lincoln Elementary. Someone with a camera had captured the moment when Michael knelt down and made his promises to her and the twins. Another photo showed them walking to the park together, looking like a happy family. "Oh no," Isabel whispered, her stomach twisting with dread. The phone rang. It was Principal Martinez from Lincoln Elementary. "Isabel, I'm getting calls from reporters asking about you and your daughters," he said, sounding worried. "They're saying you're involved with Michael Jordan and that the twins might be his children." "No, the girls aren't his children," Isabel said quickly. We used to know each other in college. We ran into each other yesterday for the first time in 15 years. Well, there are news vans outside the school right now. Parents are calling asking questions. You should probably stay home today until this settles down." Isabel hung up, feeling sick to her stomach. This was exactly what she had been afraid of. The peaceful life she had built for her daughters was being destroyed by reporters and photographers. Aria and Luna came into the kitchen in their pajamas, ready for breakfast and excited about seeing Michael again. "Mum, can Michael come over for dinner tonight?" Aria asked cheerfully. "We want to show him our room and our basketball hoop." "Girls, we need to talk," Isabel said, trying to keep her voice calm. "Some people took pictures of us yesterday with Michael, and now everyone knows that we're friends with him. That's good, right?" Luna asked, confused by her mother's worried expression. "It's complicated, sweetheart. Some people might say mean things about our family. They might think I'm only friends with Michael because he's famous and has a lot of money. But that's stupid," Aria declared, using a word she wasn't usually allowed to say. "You didn't even know who he was when he helped us at the park." "I know, baby, but not everyone will understand that. People sometimes make up stories about celebrities that aren't true." Isabel's phone rang again. This time it was Michael. "Izzy, I'm so sorry," he said immediately. "I should have been more careful yesterday. I should have thought about photographers. Are you and the girls okay?" "We're scared," Isabel admitted. "There are reporters at the school. My principal told me to stay home. My neighbors are looking at us strangely. I don't know what to do." "Pack some bags," Michael said without hesitation. "I'm sending a security team to bring you and the girls to my house. You can stay here until this media attention dies down." "Mike, that will make it worse. If we're staying at your house, everyone will think we're definitely together." "Aren't we together?" Michael asked gently. Isabel paused. Were they together? After one day of rediscovering each other? After 15 years apart? "I don't know," she said honestly. "Yesterday felt like a beautiful dream, but this is real life, and I have to protect my daughters." "Then let me help you protect them. My house has security gates, private property, and enough space for the girls to play without reporters bothering them." Against her better judgment, Isabel agreed. She packed bags for herself and the twins, trying to explain why they had to leave their apartment temporarily. "Are we in trouble?" Luna asked worriedly as they packed her favorite stuffed animals. "No, sweetheart. Sometimes when you're friends with famous people, other people get very curious and want to take lots of pictures. We're just going somewhere private until they get bored and leave us alone." An hour later, a black SUV with tinted windows picked them up at the back entrance of their apartment building. The twins thought it was exciting, like being in a spy movie. But Isabel felt more and more uncomfortable with each mile they drove. Michael's house was enormous, more like a palace than a home. The twins ran around exploring while Isabel stood in the marble entrance feeling completely out of place. "This is too much," she told Michael. "I don't belong here. We don't belong here." "You belong wherever I am," Michael said. "Just like you did in college, remember? It doesn't matter if we're in a tiny dorm room or a big house. What matters is that we're together." That was different. We were both broke college students then. Now you're... She gestured around at the expensive furniture and artwork. "This. And I'm still just a teacher who cleans offices at night. The money doesn't change who I am inside, Izzy." "Easy for you to say. You've never worried about buying groceries or keeping the electricity on." Michael realized that Isabel's struggles over the past 15 years had changed her in ways he was only beginning to understand. She had learned to be careful, to protect herself and her daughters from disappointment. That evening, they sat in Michael's huge living room, watching the news coverage of their relationship. The reporters were calling Isabel everything from a gold digger to a single mother trying to cash in on her past. "How can they say such awful things about Mum?" Luna asked, tears in her eyes. "They don't even know her." "Because some people like to create drama," Michael explained, pulling Luna onto his lap. "But the people who really matter, the people who know your mum's heart, understand that she's a wonderful person." "I want to go home," Arya said quietly, curling up next to Isabel on the couch. Isabel's heart broke. Her daughters had never asked to be part of this circus. They just wanted their normal, quiet life back. "Mike," she said that night after the twins were asleep in the guest room, "I think we made a mistake. This attention, this scrutiny, it's not fair to the girls." "It will calm down in a few days," Michael assured her. "Celebrity stories always do. But what if it doesn't? What if every time we go out together there are cameras following us? What if the girls can't have normal childhoods because their mom is dating Michael Jordan?" Michael sat down next to her on the couch. "Are you having second thoughts about us?" "I'm having second thoughts about whether I can handle this lifestyle. I'm having second thoughts about whether it's selfish of me to put my daughters through this just because I love you." "Do you love me?" Isabel looked at him with tears in her eyes. "I never stopped loving you, Mike. But sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes you have to choose what's best for your children, even if it breaks your heart." That night, as Michael lay awake in his bedroom and Isabel tossed and turned in the guest room down the hall, both of them wondered if finding each other again had been a blessing or a curse. "I hope not," Luna whispered back. "Mom was happier yesterday than she's been in forever." "How?" "I don't know yet. But we're smart, and we love them both. There has to be a way to make this work." Outside, camera flashes lit up the darkness as photographers waited for any glimpse of Michael Jordan's mysterious new family. The fairy tale was turning into a nightmare, and no one knew how it would end. The next morning brought even worse news. Someone had leaked stories about Isabel's financial struggles, her ex-husband's abandonment, and even details about her mother's death years ago. The headlines were cruel and heartless. Jordan's charity case girlfriend. From rags to riches. The gold digger's dream come true. Single mom uses kids to hook basketball legend. Isabel sat at Michael's kitchen table, staring at her laptop screen with tears streaming down her face. Every website, every news channel, every social media platform was talking about her like she was a character in a soap opera instead of a real person with real feelings. "Turn it off," Michael said gently, sitting down beside her. "Don't read any more of that garbage." "How can they know so much about my private life?" Isabel asked. "They have details about my mom's medical bills, my bankruptcy, even the name of my cleaning company. Someone is giving them information." Michael's jaw tightened with anger. "I'll hire investigators to find out who's leaking these stories. We'll stop this." "You can't stop it, Mike. This is what happens when you're famous. Everyone wants a piece of your story, whether it's true or not." The twins came downstairs for breakfast, moving more quietly than usual. They had heard their mother crying last night, and the stress in the house was affecting them too. "Mum, are you okay?" Luna asked, wrapping her arms around Isabel's shoulders. "The people on TV are saying really mean things about you," Arya added, her voice small and worried. Isabel pulled both girls into her lap, holding them tightly. "I'm okay, babies. Some people just don't understand our family, but that doesn't make what they're saying true." "Why don't they understand?" Luna asked. "We love Michael, and he loves us. Isn't that all that matters?" "It should be all that matters," Michael said, ruffling Luna's hair. But sometimes the world makes things more complicated than they need to be. After breakfast, Michael had to leave for a business meeting. He kissed Isabel goodbye and promised to be back soon, but she could see the worry in his eyes. The media attention was affecting him too, and she wondered how long he could handle the negative publicity. Alone with the twins, Isabel made a difficult decision. She called the car service Michael had arranged for them. "I need to go back to our apartment," she told the driver, and then to Lincoln Elementary. "Ma'am, Mr. Jordan said you should stay here for your safety," the driver replied. "I appreciate his concern, but these are my children and I need to handle this my way." The ride back to their neighborhood was eye-opening. News vans were still parked outside their apartment building. Reporters waited by the school entrance. Their quiet, peaceful life had been completely destroyed in just 2 days. But Isabel was determined to face the situation head-on. She walked into Lincoln Elementary with her head held high, holding her daughter's hands. Principal Martinez looked surprised to see them. "Isabel, I thought you were going to stay away until this died down." "Mr. Martinez, I've been a teacher here for 3 years. My daughters have been students here since kindergarten. We're not going to hide because some reporters want to take pictures, but the media attention is disruptive to the other students and families. Then the reporters need to leave, not my children." Isabel spent the day teaching her 3rd grade class as if nothing had changed. She helped students with math problems, read stories during circle time, and graded papers during lunch. Teaching was her safe place, the one thing that made sense when everything else felt chaotic. But the twins had a harder day. During recess, some of the older kids teased them about their fake famous dad. During lunch, children stared and whispered. By the time school ended, both girls were exhausted and upset. "I don't like being famous," Aria said as they walked home. "I just want things to go back to normal." "Me too," Luna agreed. "I wish Michael was just Mike again, like when we first met him." Isabel's heart broke. Her daughters were suffering because of her relationship with Michael. Was it fair to put them through this just because she had found love again? That evening they returned to their small apartment instead of going back to Michael's mansion. Isabel ordered pizza and tried to create a normal family dinner, but everything felt different now. Even their cozy home didn't feel safe anymore, with reporters camped outside. Michael called several times, but Isabel let the calls go to voicemail. She needed space to think, to figure out what was best for her daughters. Around 8 o'clock there was a knock at the door. Isabel looked through the peephole and saw Michael standing in the hallway, wearing a baseball cap and looking worried. "Izzy, please let me in," he said. "We need to talk." She opened the door and he quickly stepped inside, away from the cameras that were probably watching from the street. "Why didn't you answer my calls?" he asked. "I was worried sick when I came home and found you gone. I needed to come back to reality," Isabel said. "This is our real life, Mike. This little apartment, this neighborhood, this school. Not your mansion with security gates and marble floors, but you were safe there. Here, you're surrounded by reporters. Safe from what? From people learning the truth about who I really am. I'm not ashamed of my life, Mike. I work hard. I love my daughters, and I've done the best I could with what I had." Michael looked around the small apartment, at the girls' artwork on the walls, the basketball hoop in the corner, the cozy couch where they all fit together perfectly. "I love this place," he said quietly. "I love everything about your real life. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Then why does it feel like I'm losing everything that matters to me?" Isabel asked, tears in her eyes. Before Michael could answer, the twins came out of their bedroom in their pajamas. "Michael," they both exclaimed, running to hug him. "We missed you today." "I missed you too," he said, kneeling down to their level. "How was school?" "Terrible," Aria said honestly. Kids were mean to us because of all the TV stuff, and everyone was staring at us like we were zoo animals," Luna added. Michael's face darkened with anger, but not at the girls. "I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's not fair. We don't want to be famous anymore," Arya declared. "We just want to be regular kids with a regular family. Can you make the cameras go away?" Luna asked hopefully. Michael looked at Isabel over the twins' heads. He could see the pain in her eyes, the impossible choice she was facing between love and protecting her children. "Girls," he said carefully, "what if I told you that being part of my life might always mean some cameras and attention? What if it never goes completely back to normal?" The twins exchanged one of their twin looks, having a silent conversation with their eyes. "Would you still love us and take care of us?" Arya asked. "Always," Michael promised. "And would you still come to our basketball games and help with homework?" Luna wanted to know. "Every single time. Then we can handle some stupid cameras," Arya decided. "Right, Luna? Right, we're tough. Like Mom taught us." "But the other kids at school," Isabel started. "We'll get bored and find something else to talk about," Luna said with 8-year-old wisdom. "Besides, the kids who are mean to us weren't really our friends anyway." Michael marveled at these two little girls who had more courage and clarity than most adults. "What about you, Izzy?" he asked gently. "Can you handle some stupid cameras if it means we get to be a family?" Isabel looked at her daughters, who were watching her with hopeful eyes. She looked at Michael, who was offering her everything she had ever dreamed of, and she looked around their small apartment, which would always be home no matter how famous they became. "I'm scared," she admitted. "I'm scared too," Michael said. "But I learned something important in basketball. The biggest victories come when you're brave enough to take the shot, even when you might miss." He stood up and took her hands in his. "Izzy, will you take the shot with me? Will you let me prove that our love is stronger than whatever the world throws at us?" The twins held their breath, waiting for their mother's answer. Outside, camera flashes continued to light up the night, but inside their small apartment, three people who loved each other more than fame or fortune or public opinion waited to see if love really could conquer everything. Isabel stared into Michael's eyes, her heart pounding with the weight of the decision. In the silence of their small apartment, she could hear the twins breathing, the distant sound of traffic, and the quiet hum of the refrigerator, normal sounds from their normal life that might never be the same again. "Yes," she whispered finally, "yes, I'll take the shot with you." The twins erupted in cheers, jumping up and down and hugging both adults. "We're going to be a real family," Arya shouted. "We already were a real family," Michael said, pulling all three of them into his arms. "Now it's just official." Over the next few days, Michael showed Isabel and the twins what their life together could look like. Instead of hiding from the media attention, they faced it head-on as a united family. Michael held a press conference where he spoke honestly about his relationship with Isabel. He told the story of their college romance, their painful separation, and their miraculous reunion through Arya and Luna. "Isabel Santos Chen is not a gold digger," he said firmly to the crowd of reporters. "She's the woman who taught me that being a good person matters more than being famous. She's raised two incredible daughters while working multiple jobs and never asking for help from anyone. She's the strongest person I know, and I'm honored that she's giving me a second chance." The tide of public opinion began to turn. Sports commentators who had known Michael for years spoke about his character. Teachers and parents from Lincoln Elementary gave interviews about what a dedicated educator and mother Isabel was. But the biggest change came from an unexpected source. One morning, the twins asked if they could make a video for social media. Sitting together on their couch, they looked directly into the camera with the same brave confidence they'd shown when facing the bullies in the park. "Hi everyone," Arya began. "We're the twins you've been hearing about on the news." Some people are saying mean things about our mom, Luna continued. They think she's only dating Michael Jordan for his money. But that's really dumb, Aria said matter-of-factly. Because our mom didn't even know who Michael was when he helped us. She just saw a nice man being kind to her daughters. Our mom works super hard to take care of us, Luna explained. She has 2 jobs and still comes to every basketball game and helps with every homework assignment. And Michael doesn't try to buy our love with expensive stuff, Aria added. He shows up. He listens to us. He makes our mom smile again. We don't care if he's famous, Luna said. We care that he's good to our family. So please stop saying mean things about our mom, Aria concluded. She's the best mom in the world, and she deserves to be happy. The video went viral within hours. Comments poured in from people all over the world supporting the family. The twins' innocent honesty and fierce protection of their mother touched hearts everywhere. A week later, Michael made another announcement that surprised everyone, including Isabel. I've decided to step back from most of my business commitments, he told her over breakfast. I want to focus on what really matters, you, the girls, and building our family together. Mike, you don't have to do that, Isabel protested. I don't want you to give up your career for us. I'm not giving up anything, Michael said. I'm choosing something better. I've had more success than one person deserves. Now I want to use that success to make a difference in ways that matter. He explained his new plans. Instead of traveling constantly for business meetings and endorsement deals, he would focus on local community work. He wanted to start a foundation with Isabel that would help single parents get education and job training. He wanted to build basketball courts in neighborhoods where kids couldn't afford expensive sports programs. We could work together, he said excitedly. Your teaching experience and my resources, we could really help families who are struggling like you did. Isabel felt tears in her eyes. This was the Mike she had fallen in love with in college, the one who wanted to make a difference, not just make money. That afternoon brought another surprise. Principal Martinez called with unexpected news. Isabel, the school board wants to name our new gymnasium after Michael Jordan. They're planning a dedication ceremony next Friday, and they want your whole family to be the guests of honor. Aria and Luna were thrilled. Our school is going to have Michael's name on it, they squealed. But more importantly, Principal Martinez continued, Michael has donated enough money to upgrade our entire athletic program. New equipment, new uniforms, and funding for a basketball camp this summer. Isabel looked at Michael in amazement. When did you arrange all this? I've been working on it since our first day together, he admitted. I wanted to do something special for the school where my girls go, and for the place where their incredible mother teaches. The gymnasium dedication became a celebration of more than just Michael's basketball career. It became a symbol of second chances, family love, and the power of community support. The twins performed with their classmates, reading a poem they had written about champions being made through kindness, not just sports. Teachers spoke about the impact of Michael's donation, and Isabel, who usually preferred to stay in the background, gave a speech that brought tears to everyone's eyes. This gym will be used by thousands of children over the years, she said, standing at the podium with her family beside her. Some of them will dream of playing professional basketball, but all of them will learn the lessons that sports really teach: teamwork, perseverance, and treating others with respect. She looked at Michael, who was beaming with pride. These are the lessons that matter most. These are what make true champions. After the ceremony, as families gathered in the new gym for cake and celebration, Michael found himself surrounded by children asking for autographs and basketball tips. But his favorite moments were watching Aria and Luna show their friends the new equipment and explain how to shoot a proper free throw. They're natural teachers, just like their mom, observed Mrs. Peterson, the twins' classroom teacher. They get that from both sides of their family now. Michael replied, watching Isabel help a shy kindergartner make his first basket. As the evening wound down, the Santos Chen Jordan family, as the twins had started calling themselves, walked home through Lincoln Park. The same park where Michael had first met Aria and Luna. The same place where this whole incredible journey had begun. "Remember when we thought you were just a nice man named Mike?" Luna said, skipping between her parents. "I still am just Mike," Michael assured her. "Everything else is just extra. But now you're our Mike," Aria added, taking his hand. "Forever and always," Michael promised. They stopped at the basketball court where they had practiced together those first few days. Someone had left a basketball behind, and the twins immediately started a game. "Your shot, Mom," Aria called out, passing the ball to Isabel. "Show her the fadeaway," Luna encouraged. Isabel laughed and demonstrated the shot that had connected them all. The ball sailed through the hoop with a perfect swish. "Still got it," Michael said admiringly. "I learned from the best," Isabel replied, standing on her tiptoes to kiss him. As they walked the final blocks to their apartment, they had decided to stay in their neighborhood, in a slightly bigger place, but still close to the school and community they loved. Michael reflected on how much his life had changed. A month ago, he had been successful but lonely, wealthy but empty. Now he was part of something infinitely more valuable, a family built on love, respect, and shared dreams. "What are you thinking about?" Isabel asked, noticing his quiet mood. "Just remembering something you told me a long time ago," Michael said, "about champions being made when nobody's watching. And I think I finally understand what that really means. It's not about what you achieve when everyone's cheering. It's about who you choose to be in the quiet moments. Who you love, how you treat people, what you build with your life when the cameras aren't rolling." "And what have you decided to build?" Isabel asked. Michael looked at their daughters, running ahead of them and still holding hands the way they had since they were tiny. He looked at the woman beside him who had taught him everything important about love and life. He looked at the neighborhood around them, full of families and dreams and possibilities. "Everything that matters," he said simply. As they reached their front door, Aria turned around with a sudden thought. "Michael, do you think we'll have a baby brother or sister someday?" "Aria," Isabel gasped, her face turning red. But Michael just laughed and ruffled both girls' hair. "I think this family is perfect exactly the way it is. But we'll see what the future brings, as long as they like basketball," Luna said seriously. "With this family, they won't have a choice," Michael replied. That night, as the twins slept soundly in their beds and Isabel and Michael sat together planning their wedding and their foundation and their future, the cameras outside finally went away. The reporters found new stories to chase. The social media attention moved on to other celebrities, but inside their small apartment, a love story that had begun 15 years ago in a college coffee shop continued to grow stronger every day. And two little girls who had always taken care of each other now had a father who would take care of them all. 3 weeks later, just when everything seemed to be settling into a happy routine, Michael's phone rang with news that would shake their newfound peace. "David Chen's lawyer wants to schedule a meeting," Michael told Isabel, his voice tight with concern. "He wants to discuss visitation rights with the twins." Isabel went pale, nearly dropping the coffee mug she was holding. After 6 years of no contact, now he wants to be a father? The media attention must have reminded him that he has daughters, Michael said grimly. His lawyer says he's been following the news coverage and wants to be part of their lives. Aria and Luna were at school, so Isabel and Michael could talk freely. But even so, Isabel lowered her voice as if her ex-husband might be listening. "This could destroy everything," she whispered. "The girls barely remember him. They think of you as their father now. What are you going to do?" "I don't know. Legally, he has rights. But those girls have been through enough changes already. This could hurt them so badly. That evening, Isabel sat the twins down for one of the hardest conversations of their lives. She had spent all day trying to figure out how to explain the situation to 8-year-olds. "Girls, do you remember when you were very little, before it was just you, me, and now Michael?" Aria looked confused. Luna scrunched up her face, trying to remember. "There was another man who lived with us," Luna asked slowly. "His name was David, and he was your father. Your biological father," Isabel explained carefully. "But he went away," Aria said, the memory becoming clearer. "You said he had to work far away and couldn't come back." Isabel's heart broke. She had tried to protect them from the truth that David had simply abandoned them when being a father became too difficult. "Well, he saw us on television with Michael, and now he wants to visit you." "Why?" Aria asked bluntly. "We don't need him. We have you and Michael now." "It's complicated, sweetheart. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes and then want to fix them later. But it's too late," Luna declared with 8-year-old logic. "You can't just leave people and then come back whenever you want to." Michael had been listening from the doorway. He came over and sat with them on the couch. "Girls, this is scary and confusing," he said gently. "But your mom and I will be with you no matter what happens. Nothing will change how much we love you. Will you still want to be our dad if our other dad comes back?" Aria asked, her voice small and worried. "Nothing in this world could make me not want to be part of your family," Michael promised, pulling both girls close. "You're stuck with me forever." 2 days later, they met David Chen at a family counselor's office downtown. Isabel was shocked by how different he looked. Gone was the uncertain young man who had left them. This David wore an expensive suit and carried himself with new confidence. "Isabel," he said formally, when they walked into the waiting room. "You look well." "What do you want, David?" Isabel asked, getting straight to the point. "I want to meet my daughters. I made mistakes when they were babies, but I'm ready to be a father now." "Ready?" Isabel's voice rose, causing other people in the waiting room to look over. "They needed a father 6 years ago when you walked out. They needed one when Luna had pneumonia and I spent 3 days in the hospital with her alone. They needed one when Aria was being bullied at school and cried herself to sleep every night." "I was young and scared," David said defensively. "I wasn't ready for the responsibility of twin babies." "And I was?" "You think being a single mom to twins was easy for me?" Michael stayed quiet, letting Isabel handle this confrontation. He could see the pain and anger she had been carrying for years, finally coming to the surface. "I know I hurt you," David continued, "but I've changed. I have a successful business now. I can provide for them in ways I couldn't before." "Provide what?" "Money." Isabel's voice was sharp. "They don't need your money, David. They need love, consistency, and someone who won't abandon them when things get hard." The family counselor, Dr. Rodriguez, invited them into her office to continue the conversation more privately. "Mr. Chen," she said, "can you tell us what kind of relationship you're hoping to have with Aria and Luna?" "I want to be their father. I want weekends, holidays, maybe even shared custody eventually." Isabel felt sick. "Shared custody? You can't just waltz back into their lives and demand half of them." "They're my children too, Isabel. Biologically, yes. But you haven't been their father in any way that matters." Dr. Rodriguez suggested they bring the twins in to meet David and see how they reacted to him. When Aria and Luna entered the room, they immediately moved to stand behind Isabel and Michael. "Girls," David said, kneeling down to their level, "I'm your father. I know I went away for a while, but I'm back now. I want us to be a family." "No, you're not," Aria said with surprising firmness. "Our dad is right there." She pointed to Michael. David looked hurt and confused. I'm your biological father. I was there when you were born. But you left us, Luna said quietly. And Michael chose us. The twins moved even closer to Michael, each taking one of his hands. Dr. Rodriguez observed the interaction carefully. Mr. Chen, as you can see, the girls have formed a strong attachment to Mr. Jordan. Any relationship with you will need to be built slowly and carefully. But I have rights, David insisted. You have some legal rights, Dr. Rodriguez agreed. But the children's emotional well-being comes first. I'm recommending short, supervised visits to start. 1 hour every other Saturday, here in my office. That's it? David asked, clearly disappointed. That's generous, Isabel said firmly. After 6 years of absence, you're lucky to get anything at all. The first visit was scheduled for the following Saturday. As they left the counselor's office, the twins were quiet and subdued. Do we have to see him? Luna asked in the car. The law says he has the right to spend some time with you, Isabel explained. But it will always be supervised, and if you're uncomfortable, we can stop the visits. We don't want another dad, Aria said stubbornly. We already have the best dad in the world. That night, Michael found Isabel crying in their bedroom. I'm going to lose them, she sobbed. What if David takes me to court? What if a judge decides he deserves shared custody? What if he tries to take them away from me? That won't happen, Michael said, holding her tightly. You're an amazing mother. Any judge can see that. But he has money now. Stability. Maybe they would be better off. Stop, Michael said firmly. Those girls adore you. You've given them everything that truly matters. Love, values, security. No judge is going to take that away. I'm scared, Mike. I can't lose them. They're my whole life. You won't lose them, and you won't face this alone. We'll get the best lawyers. We'll fight for them together. You'd do that, even though they're not biologically your children? Michael looked at her with complete sincerity. Izzy, they became my children the moment I fell in love with their mother. Biology doesn't make someone a parent. Love does. Showing up every day does. Being there when they're sick or scared or need help with homework. That's what makes a real father. Over the next few weeks, David pushed for more time with the twins. He brought expensive gifts to their supervised visits. Tablets, designer clothes, promises of trips to Disney World. But Aria and Luna weren't impressed. He thinks presents make up for leaving us, Aria told Michael after one particularly difficult visit. But you taught us that actions matter more than words. Mom always says love is about showing up every day, Luna added. Not just when it's convenient. Michael realized that Isabel had raised her daughters to understand love in its truest form. They couldn't be bought or manipulated because they knew what real devotion looked like. As the legal battle intensified, the twins were asked to speak with a child psychologist about their feelings. Do you want to spend more time with Mr. Chen? Psychologist asked gently. No, both girls said immediately. Can you tell me why? Because he doesn't know us, Aria explained patiently. He doesn't know that Luna is afraid of thunderstorms, or that I like extra cheese on my pizza. He doesn't know that we practice basketball every day, or that we want to be teachers like Mom. Michael knows all those things, Luna added. He's our real dad now, even if we don't have the same blood. The psychologist wrote detailed notes about the conversation. Her report would be crucial in determining what was truly best for the children. But David's lawyer had one more surprise that could change everything. They had gathered evidence that Michael had been buying the family's affection with expensive gifts and financial support, trying to paint him as someone who was manipulating the situation for his own benefit. The custody hearing would determine not just David's rights, but whether this unconventional family would be allowed to stay together. The courthouse hallway buzzed with reporters and curious onlookers as the custody hearing began. Isabel sat between Michael and her lawyer, Ms. Harrison, trying to stay calm for her daughter's sake. Even though the twins weren't in the courtroom, Isabel knew this decision would affect their entire future. Judge Patricia Williams called the court to order. She was known for being fair but tough, especially when it came to children's welfare. David's lawyer, Mr. Peterson, stood up first. He was confident and well-dressed, clearly believing he had a strong case. "Your Honor," he began, "my client made mistakes as a young man, but he's now financially stable and emotionally ready to be a father. David Chen has built a successful business and can provide opportunities for these children that their mother simply cannot afford." He presented bank statements showing David's wealth, photos of his large house, and plans for the twins' education at expensive private schools. Furthermore, Mr. Peterson continued, "We have evidence that Ms. Santos Chen's current relationship with Mr. Jordan is based on financial gain, rather than genuine affection. She's clearly using her children to maintain access to his wealth and celebrity status." Isabel felt sick hearing these accusations. This was exactly what she had feared would happen. The lawyer showed photos of Michael buying gifts for the twins, bank records showing Isabel's past financial struggles, and witness statements from people who claimed she had changed since meeting Michael. "This is a classic case of parental alienation," David's lawyer argued. "These children have been coached to reject their biological father in favor of a celebrity stepfather figure who represents financial security." When it was Ms. Harrison's turn, she called several character witnesses. Principal Martinez testified about Isabel's dedication as both a teacher and a mother. Mrs. Rodriguez, their neighbor who had watched the twins for years, spoke about how well cared for and happy the children were. "Ms. Santos Chen has raised these children with love, consistency, and strong values," Principal Martinez said. "She's never missed a parent conference, always volunteers for school events, and her daughters are among our most well-behaved and academically successful students." Then Michael took the witness stand. "Mr. Jordan," David's lawyer said during cross-examination, "isn't it true that you're only interested in Miss Santos Chen because she reminds you of your youth, and that once the novelty wears off, you'll move on to someone more suitable to your celebrity status?" Michael looked directly at Judge Williams. "Your Honor, I've been famous for most of my adult life. I've met countless people who wanted something from me: money, connections, photo opportunities. But Isabel Santos is the only person who ever loved me for who I really am, not what I've achieved. But you dated briefly in college over 15 years ago. How can you claim to know who she is now?" "Because I've watched her raise two incredible daughters by herself for the past few months," Michael replied firmly. "I've seen her work 16-hour days to provide for them. I've watched her help them with homework at midnight after cleaning offices all evening. I've seen her teach them that character matters more than money, that kindness is more important than fame." His voice became emotional. "The woman I fell in love with in college has only become more amazing as a mother. She's the strongest, most selfless person I know. And the children, don't you think it's confusing for them to have multiple father figures? Those girls know the difference between someone who chooses to love them and someone who feels obligated to be in their lives," Michael said. "They've never asked me for expensive gifts or special treatment. All they've ever wanted is for someone to show up consistently, to care about their dreams, and to make their mother happy." David's lawyer tried a different approach. "Mr. Jordan, you have no legal standing in this case. These aren't your biological children. Why should your opinion matter?" Michael's answer was quiet but powerful. "Because love isn't about biology. It's about choice. I choose to love Aria and Luna every single day. I choose to worry about their homework and their friendships and their futures. That's what makes someone a father. Not DNA, but daily devotion." Finally, Judge Williams asked to speak with the twins privately in her chambers. This was the moment everyone had been waiting for. What would Arya and Luna say when asked directly about their wishes? After an hour, the judge returned with the girls. Both twins immediately ran to Isabel and Michael, hugging them tightly before taking their seats. "I've made my decision," Judge Williams announced. "This case has required me to consider what's truly in the best interests of these children." The courtroom fell silent. While Mr. Chen is the biological father of Arya and Luna, biology alone does not determine what serves a child's best interests. These children have expressed clearly and consistently that they do not wish to have an ongoing relationship with Mr. Chen at this time. David's face fell, but the judge continued. "More importantly, I've observed a family unit that, while unconventional, is clearly functioning in a healthy, loving manner. The children demonstrate strong emotional bonds with both their mother and Mr. Jordan. They are academically successful, socially well-adjusted, and emotionally secure." Judge Williams looked directly at David. "Mr. Chen, I understand your desire to reconnect with your daughters. However, you voluntarily absent yourself from their lives for 6 years during their most formative period. You cannot simply return and expect to resume parental rights as if no time has passed. I will grant you supervised visitation rights, 2 hours every other Saturday at the Family Counseling Center. These visits will continue only as long as the children show no signs of emotional distress. If Arya and Luna continue to resist or show anxiety about these visits, they will be suspended." Isabel felt relief flood through her body. Furthermore, the judge continued, "I want to address the allegations about Ms. Santos Chen's motives regarding her relationship with Mr. Jordan. I've had the opportunity to observe this family over several weeks through court reports and testimony. The love between these children and both their mother and Mr. Jordan is genuine and profound." She looked sternly at David's lawyer. "Any suggestion that this is a relationship based on financial convenience is not only unsupported by evidence, but is contradicted by the clear emotional bonds I've witnessed. Custody remains fully with Ms. Santos Chen. Mr. Jordan, while you have no legal standing in this case, it's clear that you've become a positive and stabilizing influence in these children's lives." As the hearing ended, Isabel, Michael, and the twins walked out of the courthouse together, past the crowd of reporters waiting outside. David approached them one last time in the hallway. "Isabel," he said quietly, "I know you hate me, but those are my daughters too." For the first time, Isabel looked at him without anger, just sadness for what he had chosen to miss. "David, I don't hate you. I'm disappointed in you. If you had the chance to love 2 amazing little girls and you walked away, that was your choice. I was young and stupid. So was I. But I didn't have the luxury of walking away. Those girls needed me, so I figured out how to be what they needed. Can't I have a second chance?" Isabel looked at Arya and Luna, who were holding hands and staying close to Michael. "They'll decide that, not me. If you want a relationship with them, you'll have to earn it. And that means showing up consistently, not just when it's convenient for you." David nodded sadly and walked away alone. That evening, the family celebrated quietly at home with pizza and a movie. The twins seemed lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from their shoulders. "Mom," Arya said during the movie, "can we ask you something important?" "Of course, sweetheart. When are you and Michael getting married?" Isabel nearly choked on her soda. "Arya, we haven't even—" "What?" Luna joined in. "We want to know if we should start planning the wedding." Michael laughed, pulling both girls onto his lap. "Your mom and I are taking things one step at a time." "That's boring," Arya declared. "Adults are so slow about everything important." "Yeah," Luna agreed. "We already know we want Michael to be our dad forever. Why do you need more time to figure that out?" Later that night, after the twins were asleep, Michael found Isabel sitting on their small balcony, looking up at the stars. "Penny for your thoughts," he said, sitting down beside her. "I keep thinking about what you said in court today, about love being a choice. What about it?" I realized something during all of this. When I fell in love with you in college, it felt like something that happened to me, like I had no control over it. Michael nodded, listening carefully. "But now, after everything we've been through, the separation, raising the girls alone, finding each other again, facing David, dealing with the media, I understand that love isn't just a feeling, it's a decision you make every day. And I choose you, Mike. Not because you're famous or wealthy or because you can provide security for us. I choose you because you make me laugh, because you see the best in my daughters, because you're the same good man you were in college, just stronger and wiser." Michael took her hands in his. "Izzy, will you marry me? Not because the twins want us to, not because it makes sense practically, but because I can't imagine spending another day without you as my wife. Are you proposing to me on our balcony in our pajamas?" Isabel asked, laughing. "I'm proposing to you wherever you are, however you are, because that's when I love you most. In the quiet, real moments when it's just us." "Then yes," Isabel said, kissing him softly. "Yes, I'll marry you." From inside the apartment, they heard excited whispers. They said yes. Aria's voice carried through the screen door. "I told you they would," Luna replied. Michael and Isabel looked at each other and laughed. Their daughters had been eavesdropping the whole time. "Girls, come out here," Isabel called. The twins burst through the door in their pajamas, tackling both adults with hugs. "We're going to be a real family," Aria shouted. "We already were a real family," Michael said, holding all three of his girls close. "Now it's just official." "Can we be in the wedding?" Luna asked hopefully. "You are the wedding," Isabel said. "This is about all four of us becoming a family together." As they sat together under the stars, planning their simple neighborhood wedding and dreaming about their future, none of them could have imagined that their greatest challenge still lay ahead, not from the outside world, but from within their own past. But that's a story for tomorrow. Tonight, they were simply a family who had fought for their right to love each other and won. 5 years later, Michael Jordan sat in the bleachers at Roosevelt Middle School, watching his daughters play in the championship game of their 8th grade basketball league. At 13, Aria and Luna had grown taller and more confident, but they still held hands before every game, just like they had done everything else in life together. Beside him, Isabel cheered as Luna made a perfect assist to Aria for a layup. She was 7 months pregnant with their first child together, wearing Michael's old college jersey, the one she had kept hidden in a shoebox for all those years. "Look at them go," Isabel said proudly as the twins ran a play they had practiced in their backyard hundreds of times. "They're like poetry in motion." "They get that from their mother," Michael replied, squeezing her hand. "The grace, the teamwork, the way they lift each other up." "And the competitive spirit?" Isabel asked, with a smile. "That might be from me," Michael admitted, laughing as Aria stole the ball and raced down the court. In the 5 years since their courthouse wedding, a simple ceremony in Lincoln Park with just family and close friends, life had been beautifully ordinary. Michael had kept his promise to step back from the celebrity lifestyle and focus on what mattered most. He now coached youth basketball at 3 local schools and ran the Santos Jordan Foundation with Isabel, helping single parents get education and job training. Isabel still taught 3rd grade at Lincoln Elementary, though she had switched to part-time when she became pregnant. The principal had understood completely. After all, the Santos Jordan family was one of the school's greatest success stories. "Timeout," called Coach Martinez as the opposing team rallied in the 4th quarter. During the timeout, both twins looked up into the stands and waved at their parents. Michael waved back, his heart swelling with pride that had nothing to do with basketball skills and everything to do with the young women they were becoming. Remember when they were afraid to shoot free throws? Isabel asked. Now they're team captains, Michael observed. Luna calling plays like a coach. Arya leading by example. They've learned that being a champion isn't about individual glory. Where did they learn that? Isabel teased. From the best teacher I know, Michael replied, kissing her temple. The game resumed, and the twins led their team to a narrow victory. As the final buzzer sounded, they hugged their teammates first, then ran into the stands to celebrate with their parents. Did you see that last play? Arya asked excitedly, still buzzing with adrenaline. Luna set me up perfectly, she added, making sure her sister got credit. We saw everything, Michael said, pulling both girls into a hug. We're so proud of how you played, not just the points you scored, but how you encouraged your teammates and showed good sportsmanship. That's what you always taught us, Luna said. Basketball is about more than winning. After the game, the family went to their favorite neighborhood restaurant to celebrate. It was the same place they had eaten pizza 5 years ago, when they were just getting to know each other. Now it felt like a family tradition. I have something to tell you girls, Isabel said as they waited for their food. We found out today whether the baby is a boy or a girl. The twins sat up straight, eyes wide with excitement. It's a boy, Michael announced with a grin. A baby brother, Luna squealed. We're going to teach him basketball as soon as he can walk, Arya declared. He's lucky, Michael said, looking at his stepdaughters with love. He'll have the 2 best big sisters in the world to show him how to be a good person. Do you think he'll be as good at basketball as us? Luna asked. I think he'll be good at whatever makes him happy, Isabel said. Just like you two are good at everything you try because you work hard and support each other. As they ate dinner, the twins told their parents about their plans for high school. Both wanted to continue playing basketball, but they also had other dreams. Arya was interested in becoming a teacher like her mom. Luna wanted to be a sports psychologist, helping young athletes build confidence. Those are wonderful goals, Michael said. You know your mom and I will support whatever you choose to do, even if we don't play college basketball. Arya asked. Even if you decide you hate basketball tomorrow, Michael assured her. Though I don't think that's going to happen. After dinner, they walked home through Lincoln Park. The same route they had taken that first magical evening when they realized they were meant to be a family. The basketball courts were busy with pickup games, and Michael sometimes joined in when he wanted to stay in shape. Dad, Luna said, using the name that still made Michael's heart skip a beat. Tell us again about how you and Mom met. Which time? Michael asked. The first time in college, or the second time when you girls brought us back together? Both, Arya said. We love that story. So as they walked, Michael and Isabel told the story one more time, about coffee shops and campus lakes, about fadeaway shots and life lessons, about 2 little girls who were brave enough to stand up to bullies and wise enough to recognize love when they saw it. The best part, Luna said when they finished, is that you found each other again because of us. That's right, Michael agreed. You 2 girls are the real heroes of this story. No, we're not, Arya said, matter-of-factly. We're just the lucky kids who got the best parents in the world. That night, after the twins had gone to bed, though at 13 they insisted they were too old for bedtime stories, Michael found Isabel in the nursery. They were preparing for their son. She was folding tiny basketball onesies and arranging stuffed animals. Can you believe it, she said, patting her belly. In 2 months we'll have a baby. I can't wait to meet him, Michael said, putting his hands on her stomach. And I can't wait to see Arya and Luna as big sisters. They're going to spoil him rotten. They're going to teach him everything we taught them, Isabel said, about kindness, hard work, and never giving up on your dreams. And about basketball, Michael added with a smile. Definitely about basketball. They stood together in the quiet nursery, surrounded by reminders of the family they had built together. On the walls were photos of the twins' basketball games, their school achievements, family vacations, and quiet moments at home. It was a life full of ordinary miracles. "Do you ever miss it?" Isabel asked. "The fame, the excitement, being recognized everywhere you went." Michael thought about it seriously. "Sometimes I miss the competition, the feeling of hitting a game-winning shot. But then I think about watching Luna make her first three-pointer, or helping Aria with her algebra homework, or coming home to you every night. And I realize I traded up, from basketball superstar to suburban dad," Isabel mused. "From lonely celebrity to the luckiest man alive," Michael corrected. The next morning, Michael woke up early and went for a jog through the neighborhood. It was Saturday, which meant pancakes for breakfast, basketball practice in the backyard, and probably a trip to the hardware store to work on the nursery. As he ran, he thought about a conversation he'd had with a reporter the week before. The journalist had asked if he ever regretted stepping away from the spotlight. "You could have had your own TV show, your own brand empire," the reporter had said. "Instead, you're coaching middle school basketball in Chicago suburbs. Don't you feel like you're wasting your potential?" Michael had smiled at the question. "My potential isn't about how much money I can make or how famous I can become. My potential is about how much love I can give, how many lives I can touch, how good a father and husband I can be." "But you're Michael Jordan," the reporter had pressed. "You could influence millions of people." "I am influencing people," Michael had replied. "I'm influencing my daughters to be strong, confident women. I'm influencing the kids I coach to work hard and treat others with respect. I'm influencing my wife to believe in herself and chase her dreams." That seems like the most important influence of all. Now, jogging past the elementary school where it all began, Michael smiled at the memory. The reporter hadn't understood, but that was okay. Not everyone was meant to understand that the greatest victories happen when nobody's watching. When he got home, the twins were already awake and practicing free throws in the backyard. Isabel was making pancakes and singing softly to herself, something she only did when she was truly happy. "Morning, Dad," Aria called out. "Want to play some one-on-one?" "You're on," Michael called back, changing into his basketball shoes. As he played with his daughters in their backyard, with the smell of pancakes drifting from the kitchen and his pregnant wife humming in the background, Michael Jordan realized he had finally achieved the greatest championship of all. He had won at life. Not because he was famous or wealthy or successful in the traditional sense, but because he was loved completely by three incredible women who saw him not as a basketball legend, but as Dad, as Mike, as the man who showed up every day and chose them above everything else. "Your shot, Dad," Luna said, passing him the ball. Michael looked at the makeshift hoop they had hung on the garage, at his daughters' expectant faces, at the house where his family lived and loved and grew together. He took the shot. Swish. Some victories, he thought as his daughters cheered, are too important to miss. And sometimes the greatest champions are made not in front of roaring crowds, but in quiet backyards where love lives and ordinary miracles happen every single day. What an incredible journey of love, second chances, and family. Michael and Isabel's story shows us that sometimes the most beautiful endings come from the most unexpected beginnings. I'd love to know, where are you listening from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Your support means the world to me. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. When you subscribe, you're helping us spread more stories of kindness, love, and hope to people who need them most. And speaking of amazing stories, I've got another heartwarming tale ready for you right now. Click on the video appearing on your screen. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until next time, Remember what Isabel taught us. Champions are made when nobody's watching. Keep being kind, keep showing up for the people you love, and keep believing in second chances. See you in the next story.